Hi, it's Sabine Priestley back again with a video that some of you have been waiting for a while for. Apologies for that. It's a big topic, and this is discussing the masculine and feminine and what's going on in this time that we exist in. This is, potentially a huge topic. There are books written on it. There are many tangents and angles from which you can take a look at this. So I had to figure out how I wanted to distill this, to direct this, to mold it into something that's, as always with what you get from me, digestible, hopefully useful in some way, shape, or form, and uplifting. And I think I've got it. I think I've got it narrowed down enough to, and I'll be back to do more discussions on this because it's super important. So, what am I talking about? A lot of people have come to the discovery of, in one way, shape, or form, be it within by meditation or reading or running into people or whatever, this premise that the feminine is coming back, the divine feminine is returning. And absolutely true. This is a shift that's happening globally, and it's going to be interesting because it's a humanity shift that's occurring, but we live in very unique societies and cultures. So how that manifests in each society is going to be really interesting to see. As an American, we are dominated by the structures and the infrastructures and the masculine boundaries and creations. And as humanity, we have all been influenced heavily by the masculine for many hundreds of years. And it's coming back. Now, a misconception I want to get rid of immediately is that the feminine is not coming back to dominate and to rule. That is a very masculine energy and a masculine presence. No, it's coming back into balance. And the masculine and the feminine does not map to male or female or however you identify. It's not. We all have both masculine and feminine energies within us. The masculine energies, from geometry, their lines and their angles and their shapes of angles and lines. Their action, they are boundaries. They're the steps that have to happen. The how to of any what. And the feminine is curves and swirls and flow, intuition, creativity, passion. The what, not the how to. So you can see that these are very much needed, and a lot of people are pretty well balanced with them, whether or not they've identified that as a masculine and a feminine thing. But a lot of people are very polarized on one end or the other of those poles. And our power comes when we can truly embody both, when we can honor both, and when we understand that we need both. We need both things going on in our lives. So with all of the systems that have been created under this masculine influence, and we're talking all of it, okay? We're talking the financial institutions with the banks and everything. We're talking healthcare. We're talking the haves and the have-nots, transportation, buildings, architecture. Everything has been developed under a masculine influence, unless they were specifically designed otherwise. Things are out there like that, but they're few and far between. So what? So what about this masculine, this feminine coming back into balance? What does it mean? Well, let's take it and play it out. Let's play the what if game. I love the what if game. What if our leaders and the people that are in power were not driven by ego? We're not driven by the masculine dominate, crush, kill, destroy, but they were instead driven by love, by creativity, by by knowing that we are all one. I mean, when you dig into that, that just will blow your mind wide open. The distribution of wealth, there will be no more. Oh, yeah, everything changes. Everything changes. So this is a really good thing. If so if you're one of those people that is struggling with everything that's going on in the world, take some time and just imagine what that world of being driven by love and compassion will look like. Kind of bathe in that. And if you're really struggling, then pay attention to what you're feeding your your energy body, right? Are you spending hours a day consuming and digesting, looking at the news and the YouTube stories and all the negative things that are going on? I know people like that. I know a lot of people like that, and then they wonder why they don't feel good. Hmm. Yeah. So pay attention and care enough to feed yourself, to nourish yourself. Yes, there's a balance that has to be done with staying aware, but it's even more important, frankly, to pay attention to what you're doing energetically for your health and for your happiness. All right. I hope this helps. And like I said, this is a huge topic and it has a lot of different elements. There's a whole nother aspect of this that has to do with relationships that I'm currently researching heavily and learning more about. So eventually I'll be back and talk about that because how men and women relate to each other, regardless of how they identify personally on the sexuality scale, is huge. It's important. It's everything. And when we can learn to communicate with each other with that type of knowledge that, okay, this is a very masculine moment that they're having here, and I can not be offended and I can meet them in this way. Everything changes, relationships change. And again, let's go to the global world leaders. Can you imagine world leaders who come together with their hearts wide open in the name of love and not dominance? God, that's a beautiful thought. All right. Hope it helps. Until next time, guys. Love and light. Cheers.